Hello, this is Condessa Scarlatti, uploading my first video in a very long time due to the stupid Google so-called updates, but that's really not the point of this video. The point of this video is to offer up the best answer that I can to the somewhat loaded question of should the Batman finally kill the Joker? Now, I've not read every single Batman comic in the known universe, so there may or may not be things that I'm missing in this argument, and if you can come up with something, feel free to correct me constructively, either via a comment or another video response. Now, AOS, Alpha Omega Sin, brought up several very valid points, including the one that has struck me as particularly odd for several years, ever since I, became fascinated with Batman, and that is, why doesn't the judicial system handle it? The Arkham Asylum is indeed a revolving door for pretty much everyone who goes in there, other than the unnamed, more, I suppose you would call them normal-looking inmates, the ones who aren't necessarily costumed. They seem to stick around. But everyone else who has the slightest bit of gumption and apparently can carve a key out of a bar of soap or, use the hey, look over there trick or something can get out of Arkham. So why doesn't the judicial system handle it? Well, I think, number one, they're afraid of what will happen if the Joker were to die, for very good reason. Perhaps they don't understand what that reason is, but I'm almost positive the Batman does. That reason is the perfect power vacuum created by the almost superpowers of the Batman and the Joker. Every mobster, villain, petty thief, etc. knows who these individuals are, and knows that they are never, ever, ever going to be able to rise beyond the rank of Joker or Batman. And in that case, there is a sort of stability. Now, it's a very warped stability, considering, the Joker's free to do whatever the hell he wants, and all of the other little criminals and supervillains are kind of scurrying underneath. That isn't to say that they don't cause a great deal of damage, too, but none quite so such on the magnitude as the Joker. But if the Joker were to disappear or die, there would be a singular power force, and everything would fall on the Batman's shoulders. So, what happens to all of those little scurrying petty criminals and supervillains that maybe weren't quite as, tall in the saddle as the Joker? Well, every single one of them, their grandma and their grandma's dog, are going to try to rise up all at once to fill that power gap. It's kind of like playing King of the Mountain. Who gets up there the fastest or who claims that flag first is going to be the new Joker to fill that vacuumous void. Well, Batman's only one guy. And yes, there is, the Bat family. Batgirl, who is probably more useful as Oracle. The several consecutive Robins. But in all honesty, it entirely falls to the Batman. I really think that the other members of the Bat family have really just kind of been around to be, extra hands. So in the case of the Joker's disappearance, we actually get a lot of other, perhaps less crazy people becoming an amalgam of one giant, crazy, spiraling tornado of people trying to outdo one another and ultimately outdo the Joker, which could even be more dangerous than just, the Joker. Especially when you consider how different a lot of these villains and even some of the petty criminals are. I mean, a bomb is still a bomb, despite who's using it. It's singularly for this reason that I feel the Batman has allowed the Joker to live. Because if he wanted him dead, he very well could have gotten someone else to do it for him. If he himself didn't want to do it, there are plenty of people who would. And in terms of what the Justice League would think, well, let's just look back at the one time Wonder Woman took a life. Although she did it in a public place, it was entirely necessary, and Superman lost his shit. Superman, who's become evil a multitude of times, and Batman has had to lay the kryptonite smackdown on him, would probably be the first one to jump on the kill Batman for killing people to prove that killing is wrong bandwagon. Or at least, kicking him out of the Justice League. I feel that most everyone else would probably have enough sense to realize that it's what had to be done. Especially some of the more, I guess you would call them warrior class superheroes, like maybe Hawkgirl, the Martian Manhunter, maybe, anyone in that crowd who's maybe even taken a life before. But in terms of the citizens of Gotham, including Alfred, who is, definitely a member of the Bat family, I really feel that the standard plea is, for the love of God, shoot him in the face. Please. I don't know too many of them who would be hung up on the promise that he made to, never take a life, or the symbol of hope. Because, ultimately, what is hope supposed to do but, conquer doubt? And when the Joker's around, there's always doubts. So I really feel that that everyone in the city of Gotham is just in the back of their mind, just carrying the thought of eventually he'll kill the Joker. Eventually he's going to end this, because no one else will. I think that might even be true of the judicial system. Perhaps they don't want to get their hands dirty. Perhaps they don't want to be the ones to create this power vacuum. And maybe they have some sort of a blind faith that Batman will know what he's doing and put some kind of a stop to it. Because ultimately, no one wants to die, but at the same time, they don't want to take any action against someone like the Joker, who is so unpredictable and whose effects on society are so radical that sort of a change could really upset things. Kind of like if you were to travel back in time and alter something there, then the course of human events could change drastically. Before I make this any longer and continue to ramble, what I am saying fundamentally is that the Joker really must exist in order to keep the balance of power consistent in Gotham. If he should disappear, then the balance of power is lopsided and will try to be filled by any Johnny 2x4 with a bomb, or, Al Capone type figure with some guns and some hired goons. And the Batman knows this. Regardless of whether anyone else does, is irrelevant. The same thing rings true with the Joker in most situations. Again, I'm not, versed in every single Batman comic ever, but more often than not, the Joker doesn't kill the Batman, by his logic, because Gotham wouldn't be any fun anymore. But I think even somewhere within the addle-pated folds of his really warped mind, he knows how intrinsic the Batman is to his existence, and how that balance of power that they share over Gotham would be wholly disrupted should he actually kill the Batman. Which is why, even though he has put him in peril millions of times, there has always been some kind of hitch or linchpin that the Batman can pull to get himself free. You have to imagine, after all of those battles, the Joker has seen just about every trick the Batman has, despite the awesomeness of the utility belt. And, he also could have just shot Batman in the face. Or something to that effect. Yes, he's wearing Kevlar, but, that didn't stop him from bashing Robin's head in with a crowbar. I'm pretty sure that there is an unspoken rule between the two of them that neither one of them can be killed by the other. That doesn't mean that they couldn't be killed by natural causes or outside forces, but the two of them seem to understand that the relationship they have is paramount to their survival as individuals who need to do what they do. If that makes any kind of sense. Batman needs the Joker in order to remain a hero, and the Joker needs the Batman in order to remain the Joker, and continue to just have fun around Gotham. Alright, well, that's all I've got. Feel free to comment, contradict, respond, etc. And I apologize that you've been just staring at this pretty picture for a while, but I don't really have a webcam. But I felt the need to respond anyway. So, thanks for watching, and take care.